Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Queendom. Welcome to the place where we encourage, we inspire, we uplift, and we catapult the lives of women across the nation. Thank you again for joining us tonight. We are so excited about tonight's broadcast. We are so excited about being able to share with you just a little bit of what we do in the Queendom on a daily basis. The Queendom has been in existence since September. We are rolling up on our 1-year anniversary, and I'm telling you, if you know a woman that's not in the Queendom, trust me, this is the place that you want to send her. Wonderful things are happening in the Queendom. Wonderful things are going on. So I just ask you to sit back and enjoy the Queendom tonight as we come and we're fit to reign tonight. We're fit to reign mentally, spiritually, and emotionally tonight. Get ready for a wonderful program on tonight. Tonight, I introduce to you, most of you already know our guest tonight, Miss Cora Jakes-Coleman. Yeah. Come on, I know y'all are excited. Miss Cora Jakes-Coleman is with us tonight, y'all. Yes, Cora Jakes-Coleman is with us tonight. Miss Cora Jakes-Coleman, I'm not even going to be before you long because I got to let her get in here and do what she's been purposed to do on tonight. Come on, I think that's her joining us. Yes, give Cora this big old warm hug from wherever you are. Just give her that warm hug from whatever location you're in tonight. We're excited to have her here tonight. I'm just going to give a brief introduction, but she's going to go further and tell you what she needs you to know concerning her tonight. But she is the wife of Sky Ventura, an ultimate entertainer. She is the youth pastor of the Potter's House of Dallas, Texas. She is also the daughter of the Bishop T.D. Jakes and Lady Sarita Jakes. She is an esteemed published author, a mother, a visionary, but last but not least, she is a fitness guru, y'all. She is drinking water. She got me embarrassed because she had a gallon of water tonight to my little bottle of water. So she's gonna come before us tonight. And I told her tonight, this is an empowering group. Start wherever you want to start, finish where you want to finish. Let the Lord use you. Miss Cora Jakes, you have the floor. Cora Jakes-Coleman, you have the floor. And look, honey, I think you're related to me some kind of way. Your husband related to me because my maiden name is Coleman. So let my cousin have the floor.
Come through, Colemans. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me good? Can you see me well? I know that we were having just a little bit of technical difficulties, or so it seemed, with my dear friend, but I want to make sure that before I jump in on what I want to just encourage you all on tonight, that you can hear me good, you can see me good, and then we can get going. So let me know you can hear me. Let me know you can see me clear. And then we can jump in, and then do me another favor and share this with someone that you know who needs to be encouraged. Share this with someone that you know who needs to be strengthened, who needs to be lifted up. I think that this is going to be an amazing night for us to be able to do so. And so, okay, y'all hear me good, just see me good. We are good to go. So for those of you who are here tonight, I just wanted to kind of start off with sharing what I was going to affirm my team in today. I am a certified health coach. And as a health coach, I send affirmations to my clients almost every single day. And today, the affirmation that I was going to send to them was, you have everything that you need to produce the hope for your promise. Because sometimes we get in situations where we feel like we don't have enough hope. We don't have enough strength. We don't have enough power. We don't have enough vision. We don't have enough. to be able to have what we are hoping for, to be able to produce what we are hoping for. And I just want to encourage you on tonight that you have what you need to produce hope again. As a 22-year-old woman, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. And for those of you who do not know what that is, it just basically means that you reproduce and overproduce cysts on your ovaries. And just to not get in the medical details of it all, it can cause infertility, it can cause facial hair, it can cause gain weight, it can cause acne. There are just a lot of different things that it can cause, a lot of different symptoms that it can cause. And at 22 years old, engaged as a young girl, 10 years old, playing with baby dolls, always wanting to be a mommy, at 22 years old, to be hit with this thunderous hit from God that I would go through infertility was very, 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 very tough for me. But I subscribe to faith. I subscribe to prayer. I subscribe to enduring. And I did not realize that I was subscribing so much so to all of these things that I was going through the motions. And as I was going through the motions, I did not realize that I kind of went into autopilot, if you will. And so often we go into autopilot and we forget about having hope for the things that we believe God for. We forget about having prayer for the things that we believe God for. We disconnect with the things that we desire when dysfunction comes about to detour or distract us from our destiny. And so I want to encourage you tonight that it is very, very easy and very possible that you're in a situation right now where you feel like, I don't have enough. You could be in a situation right now where you are depressed and don't know it. I posted the other day on my Instagram page a message to the girl on the left. Whenever you do a before and after picture, you typically would put the before on the left side and you put the after on the right side. And so I was inspired by my coach. She posted a message and was speaking to the girl on the left. So I did the same. I posted a message and I spoke to the girl on the left. And when I was speaking to the girl on the left, I said, hey, you're depressed and you don't even know it. And I understood in this moment where I am now that I was depressed and didn't know it. So I could go back and tell her, hey, you're depressed and you don't know it. You feel like this is the end. PCOS, in that moment when I got diagnosed with it, I felt like this is the end. Everything I've ever dreamed of, everything that I ever hoped for, I had to go through a grieving. And I did not realize that in the grieving process that I was going through, I set up shop in depression. I set up shop there. I stayed there. I dwelled there. And I did not even realize it. I'd gotten so good at wearing a mask that 2020 turned into us all wearing masks. Isn't that crazy? That our life got so good at being camouflaged, being covered up, not showing our true emotions, faking our smiles, that we went into a situation where we had to wear masks. And I realized in the moment where we were forced to wear masks that I had been wearing a physical mask of depression. I had been wearing a mask of a smile that was not real, that was not genuine, and I didn't even know it. I did not know that I had enough hope even then to believe for what I am doing now, but I did. There is nothing new in me other than believing higher than I did before. I had access to that ability. When I was down and under and in depression, I had access to the ability to hope again. I just wasn't in a place to give myself permission to hope again. And so I put this challenge to you. Believe higher. Expect higher again. Just because you've been diagnosed with something that is low doesn't mean that you don't have the power to go high. Doesn't mean that you don't have the power to grow. I stepped on that scale and it said 315 pounds. And I thought, hi, depression? That's what that looks like. You've been eating. You won't really get out of the bed for anything. Much of what you hoped for, you've given up on. And now you have reached a point where you could die here in this depressed place, in this broken place. You could die here. Or you could hope again. And it's simply put, hope again just means to try again. Like, I really am just telling you to try again, because that's really what I did. I wish that I could tell you that I went through like a major moment where I went from one extreme to the next, but quite literally, it was one step at a time, like literally walking from my door to my mailbox in the hope of getting there without running out of breath or feeling like I want to get back in the house. With expecting myself to move past the mailbox every single day, a small little bit of hope to make it to the mailbox on one day got me to 5 miles in one day. But my first day, a small little bit of hope. I hope I can make it to this mailbox. I hope that I can make it there and back without feeling like I'm a die. I hope I can get up these stairs without my knees telling me that I am 55 years old when I am in my 30s. I hope this is my expectation. I hope to make it to the mailbox. Got me to 5 miles. At 315 pounds, I hope to get out of 300 pounds. Got me to 282. At 282 pounds, I hope to get to 250. Got me to 245. I hope just a little bit of hope. Some of you may have to start at 5 pounds. I start my clients at every 10. Hope again. To put yourself in a position to hope again requires you to believe and trust that God has the capacity to get you past the mailbox. Right? That's what it's all about. My faith tells me to trust and believe that God has the ability to get me to the mailbox. At the very least, I can trust and believe and expect that God has the ability to give me the strength that I need to get to the mailbox. Helps me every time I get to the mailbox. Helps me to believe higher for God. So when I get to the mailbox and back every single day, On the fourth day, I'm like, if he could get me to the mailbox, maybe he could get me a little past the mailbox. Maybe he could get me to the light pole at the end of the block. So then I started walking from the mailbox to the light pole at the end of the block and back. And I believed him and trusted that God had the capacity, the ability to get me to the light pole. Are you tracking with me at all? Is this helping you at all? Surely I could get to the light pole. Surely God would allow me to get to the light pole. So I hope to the light pole and back, and hope to the light pole and back, and hope to the light pole and back. And then the enemy made me fall and I sprained my ankle because he wants me to not believe and trust that God could get me to the light pole, and my ankle is sprained. But I hoped and believed and trusted that God, if I just rested for a day and I tried again and I hoped again, that God could surely, if he was the God that got me to the mailbox and he was the God that got me to the light pole, I could trust him to get me to the mailbox with a sprained ankle because he got me to the mailbox without one. I'm just trying to tell you that everything that you need to hope again is on the inside of you. I didn't pull this from a book. I just believe. I just hoped that God could get me to the mailbox. And then when I sprained my ankle, I hoped that God could get me to the mailbox with a sprained ankle. And God got me to the mailbox and back with a sprained ankle. And then my ankle healed. And so I said, oh, if God could get me to the mailbox and back with a sprained ankle, and God could get me to the light pole and back with a sprained ankle, then maybe God could get me a little further than the light pole with a healed ankle. And I kept believing and hoping. And then the scale kept dropping. And I thought it was about the walking. And I thought it was about, not eating McDonald's. And I'm sure, all of that took a part. But what I realized is I was taking steps against the enemy. I realized I was taking steps against the enemy, that every time I walked, it was a threat to the contract that God had made for me. So when the enemy saw me walking, he got threatened. The more that I walked, the more territory that I claimed, the more I was blessed. Every single step that I hoped for in God was a threat to the enemy, because he knew that everywhere my feet trod is blessed. And so I realized that the weight that I was losing wasn't really the weight of fat and carbs, but it was the weight of the enemy. That the more that I walked, the less the enemy burdened me. The more that I walked, the less depression burdened me. The more that I walked, the more confidence I felt. And then God strengthened me in the weak moments. In the weak moments, I decided to trust that God could get me to the light pole. In the happy, healed moments, I decided to walk for people who could not walk. I decided to claim territory for people who could not claim territory. I began to walk for Judah. I began to walk for Layla. I began to walk for children that I had not even birthed yet. I began to speak as I was walking that I would walk this sidewalk pregnant. I would walk this park pregnant. I would see this pond and I would walk in the belief and the trust that surely God could, the same God that got me to the mailbox and the same God that got me to the light pole, the more I believed and trusted him to get me a little further, the further I went. And then I realized the more I believed and trusted God to get me a little further, the further I went. And the more that I prayed and asked God, help me with this craving and help me with this discipline and help me to have faith in this area, because I can believe God for anybody and I could believe God for this area and this area. But when it came to fat and gluttony me. That was a battle that I struggled with believing God for. And so I began to walk and pray. God, help me with discipline. God, help me with gluttony. Help me to destroy this thing that's trying to kill me slowly. It's not a deadly sin for just no reason. It's a deadly sin because gluttony can come slowly, bite you, kill you. And there's nothing you can do. And it has so many different hats. Sometimes it comes in diabetes. Sometimes it comes in high cholesterol. Sometimes it comes in PCOS. Sometimes it comes. But you know how it leaves? When you walk. And I don't mean walking, because then you say, well, I can't walk, I'm in a wheelchair, my knee was replaced and my ankles, it's hurting, it hurts to walk, and that's probably why you may be in the situation that you are in, but I digress. When you cannot walk physically, what I'm asking you, how do you walk by faith when you're struggling with the weight that so easily besets you? Have you considered how you walk spiritually to be malnourished? When you consider your walk, have you considered your walk in such a way that it builds you and those who are connected to you? My journey in transformation is not new to those who have been following me. If you've been following me for a long time, transparency is not my issue. I have no issues being transparent. I have no issues sharing my story. Shameless plug, shared my story in both of my books. More transparent in the second than the first, but transparent is not my issue. I desire for people to see my life as a representation of the plan of God. And I realize that being unhealthy, because that's I don't subscribe to skinny, I don't subscribe to fat, I subscribe to healthy. I realized that I was representing faith unhealthy, that my burden of the enemy had become such a weight that I wasn't smiling for real. I wasn't giving for real. I wasn't representing God in the plan that he had for me to prosper and be of good health. I was making excuses. I don't have enough money. I can't, I don't like going to the gym, my knees. And then God began to say, maybe your knees hurt because you're overweight. Have you just tried? Would it hurt you just to try? So I tried. I hoped again. Am I where I want to be? Not yet. Am I going back? No. Y'all don't have to worry about that. This is a lifestyle transformation. And that's why I share it, because it's sustainable. I would not share with you all what is not sustainable for me. Being healthy, subscribing to healthy, suppressing gluttony, killing it at the root, making decisions that I know my children are going to make. Considering my decisions are going to affect how my children, how they handle food and how they handle health and how they represent God. And I was tired of being another fat preacher. I was tired of being another unhealthy prophet. I was tired of being another unhealthy prayer warrior, representing faith unhealthy. And God got me with this one word. He said, And I'm going to close on this, and I think Lady Yolanda's going to come back and ask me some questions, and then we'll, I guess, take questions from you all. I'm not sure. But the Lord said, you cannot pray for something that you have not prepared yourself to receive. And what he meant by that was I was praying for a healthy baby. We all do. We pray for healthy babies. We pray if you've ever struggled with infertility, if you've ever struggled with PCOS, if you've ever struggled with a miscarriage, if you've ever just wanted a child and didn't have no issues with pregnancy at all. Whenever you get pregnant, you pray for a healthy baby. Whenever you're trying to get pregnant, you pray for a healthy baby. Nobody is praying for an unhealthy baby. You're praying for a healthy baby. Are you a healthy womb? I want you to ask that to everything that you've been praying for. If you considered everything that you've been praying for to be a baby, a promise that God is supposed to produce in you and through you, I would ask you, are you a healthy womb? Spiritually and physically, are you a healthy womb for what you are praying for? Have you prepared for what it is that you're asking for? You postured yourself in such a give me state that you have not prepared yourself for what you're asking God to give. And in the establishment of that understanding, once you have asked those questions, I want you to do whatever it is that you need to do. Whether it's starting to walk, whether it's changing and not doing fast food every single day, whether it's picking up an extra bottle of water, whatever it is that you're going to do, challenge yourself. Am I creating healthy womb habits for what God wants to give me and for what I'm praying for? I hope that this encouraged you, and I hope this is what Lady Yolanda was looking for. I look forward to her questions, but I will surrender the floor at this time. I can't hear you.
Wow. All I can say is I'm stuck at, are you a healthy womb? Um, I'm stuck in that place because so often we become our own worst enemy. And when I say that, when you touch on diabetes, um, I met a man just a week or two ago, and he explained to me that he could only consume 32 ounces of liquid a day because of dialysis. And immediately I said to myself, could I sustain myself off of 32 ounces of liquid when I'm used to drinking all day, every day? 32 ounces, that's barely anything. And but
Mm-hmm.
what he said to me resonated. He said, I got angry, but then I quickly looked at myself and said, I did this to my temple. I can't be angry with God. I'm asking God the questions. But truth is, he said, Tracy, I can't blame God for what I did to my temple. And he doesn't even know that I walked away from that table on the 4th of July and I said, I can't blame it on anybody else anymore. I have to look at diabetes in a different way. I have to look at diabetes as not a disease, everybody's disease, but I need to look in the mirror and say, Tracy, this is your disease. This is
Mm-hmm.
your fight. And many would say, I'm 165 pounds, which is still overweight, because my weight should be 130 something. But it's what I did. So now I'm getting to a place where I'm trying to, in my Fit to Reign, so my Fit to Reign group, which is our weight loss challenge that we do in the Queendom, I'm trying to teach in the next Fit to Reign. Before we even start the challenge, let's first start with the mirror. Let's
Yeah.
first look at ourselves, look at what we don't like about ourselves, look at what we created. Because God never created what we ultimately became. God created us, the person, but God does not control. God gives us free will. He's a gentleman. He gives us free will. Do what you do. But
Yeah.
the word, I mean, we can look in the word and we know what's good for us and we know what's
Yeah.
not good for us. God did not create McDonald's when in those days that he created the heavens and earth, that McDonald's was not there. But we've become accustomed to doing things fast. So in
Yeah.
my next weight loss challenge, my goal is to say, stop, look in the mirror. What do you see? What can you attribute to fast food? What can you contribute to depression? What can you contribute to stress? What can you contribute to just not taking enough time to meal prep or think about what's best for you? What did you do to you? Because if you could get people to understand what they did to themselves, because we live in a society where everybody blames everybody else for everything. Look in the
Oh
mirror.
my.
Right. Look in the mirror. So what would you say to the woman? And I know that a lot of things are attributed to us when we were little girls. It didn't just start with I'm 20, I'm 30, and I'm overeating. But what would you say to the little girl where this issue was almost when she was old enough to make decisions for herself and what low self-esteem? Because a lot of times people do things because of low self-esteem. What would you say to the little girl or the woman on here that's just giving up and don't even look at being healthy physically, spiritually, or mentally because of low self-esteem?
I would say that it's not going to get any better if you stay there. So you might as well try to encourage yourself. I think sometimes we put ourselves in a place of depression because we're not moving fast enough.
Mm.
And so, because we put that demand, just like you said, on fast food, we want everything so fast. When we start our health journey, if it doesn't move fast, we then beat ourselves into a place of not feeling valuable enough. And we cannot esteem ourselves or encourage ourselves because things are not moving fast. The reality is, life is not fast when you consider health. When you consider health, the world is obese. We live in an obese society. We live in everything supersize it. So at the very least, give yourself grace for the journey. Give yourself grace and understanding that sometimes life doesn't need to be fast. Sometimes you've got to take a minute and learn what you need to learn. Sometimes you have to get health coaches. Sometimes you've got to stop and say, you know what, maybe I need to figure out, is that an instinct? Because for me, pulling up to Whataburger, a number 2 large sized, was an instinct for me. When I started losing weight, I had to think, do you pull up instinctively and ask for large things? Do you pull up instinctively and ask for extra? So start taking that extra away. Start moving those extras away, those larges away. Start slow, like I said, to the mailbox. Surely you can encourage yourself enough to get to the mailbox. Like, surely you have enough value within yourself to say, I can walk to a mailbox. And if you do not have enough esteem within yourself to get up but you just want to give up, like that is, this is it, then I want you to consider who you lose in your decision to give up.
Mm.
I have had so many, I have over 40 clients I have had over these last 7 months that have led to my yes for myself. My yes for myself led to 40 other people saying, you know what? And this is just personal. This isn't even the DMs that I get from people who said, I started and you're not coaching me, but I started because you coaching me low key on social media. People are meant to connect to your testimony, but they can't connect to your testimony until you're willing to live it out. They can't connect to what God wants to do in your life until you're willing to say, I am deserving enough for what God is doing in my life. I'll tell you this and go to the next question. I was on Periscope, and this prophet on Periscope, he called my name out. He's like, Cora Jakes, I have a word from you. And he said, the Lord told me that you're going to get into fitness. You're going to be about health. You're going to have a fitness line. You're going to be a coach. God shows me you're going to be an inspiration for people and for health. And people are going to be encouraged by your ministry. This is going to be big. You're going to get a lot of money for this. This is going to be a platform for you. God is going to use you as a pinnacle for health. I was literally, Miss Tracy, I was literally eating a donut at the time of the prophecy. No way was I going to believe anything that he said. I quite literally shut him down. I told him there is absolutely no way that I will ever be a pioneer for health. That is not even my stilo. I like my Cheetos, my bread. It is not going to be a thing. You have not heard from the Lord. I rebuked him like in real life. 2 years later, here we are. I had to go back and apologize to him because of because I rebuked him. I didn't even have the capacity within myself, the esteem within myself to think that I would ever be someone who could inspire someone in health. I didn't have enough esteem or confidence to even believe that was something I could influence the world to do. And now I had to go back and apologize. So I say that to say, you don't know what just believing again, hoping again is connected to. I am living out a prophecy that I had no esteem for, no confidence for, no idea that God would use me in this way at all. I was literally addicted to Sprite. Like real life. My assistant will tell you my body probably thought Sprite was water. Like low key addicted. I have not had a Sprite in over 8 months. I would have never had enough value of myself, never had enough esteem within myself back then to believe that I could be this now. But look at God. Sometimes when you can't look at yourself and you can't esteem yourself, God esteems you enough where if you just look at him, if you just grab his hand, if you just choose, don't give up, get up, he will carry you the other way. He'll get you to the other side and you don't have to look back. Whether it's through surgery or whether it's through eating right or whether it's through training, all of them are going to require discipline. And discipline is something you're going to need God's help to be able to be fully effective in. That's what I would say.
Wow. And that you said was, I mean, I can look at the comments and see how many people were blessed by what you just said, because a lot of times we don't see what's on the other side of what we're going through. We only see where we are today. Like some mornings I get up and I'm like, I know I didn't eat wrong yesterday, but my numbers are still high. So oftentimes people get frustrated because they can't see the bigger picture when it comes to health, weight loss, or anything. And even with, I mean, this is, I mean, we're on a fitness kick. We're on, I mean, but fitness is everything about us. Being fit in our minds, because in order to get fit, really, you have to train your mind first,
Yes,
because your mind will stop you dead in your tracks if we don't learn how to control what's going on up here.
for
So,
sure.
and one of the things that I wanted to mention, like I shared with you earlier, this group was about, it's about 900 and some ladies in the group.
Mhm.
So when I did the first fit challenge, it was, at first I started off with a walking challenge, where the ladies that participated would just put in their steps or whatever. Then I went a little further to do the weight loss challenge. And
Mhm.
to be honest, one would think I was a little frustrated because I felt like the ladies weren't interested in that. But I was interested in making sure that I don't want to see people suffer the way I suffer. I didn't. I was diagnosed with diabetes. Didn't never. I never knew I was borderline, and my life is restricted.
Yeah.
Like everything that I do, I'm looking. I have to look at what's in it. Who, if it's the golden rule. If it's white, it's not right. And but that's not the golden rule for just diabetes. That's the golden rule, period. If it's
Yeah.
white, it's not right. So, but I had to look at the bigger picture. The first weight loss challenge wasn't that many people, but I'm not a quitter. So I'm going to keep doing fitness challenges until it catches on. If it's just one person that's able to deliver themselves from the mindset that I can't do this, then I have done my job. I have
Yeah.
served my purpose, even if it's just one person. But what they don't know is they give me strength. So I
Yeah.
don't do what I do for me. I do what I do to give people exposure to other things, to let other people hear somebody else's story. I watch you on Instagram. I watch you on YouTube. I watch you on regular programs. But to hear you give your story, I wanted to be able to bring to light, let people see you're not the only one that struggles with this. But my next question, because I could go on and on, but my next question is, what do you say to those who have given up because they look at too much of what's on TV, or the swimsuit models, or what they see in the magazines? How do we get people to come back to the realization that everything that you see that's commercialized, I mean, we want to do this and we want to do that, and we're looking at them and we're judging ourselves based off of what we see. But how do we encourage women and empower women that they're beautiful? No matter what shape or size no matter what their shape or size is, that they can do the same things that everybody else does. Like you said, hope, take one step at a time. But what do you do to encourage the lady? Hey, you're beautiful.
Well, you have to, nobody else can do that for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
nobody else can, everybody was telling me that I was beautiful when I was unhealthy and depressed, and it wasn't doing nothing for me. It wasn't until I sit in the mirror and began to encourage myself. My husband will tell you, he catches me very often dancing in the mirror, encouraging myself. But that started without belief.
Wow.
Standing in the mirror saying, girl, look at you. You fine. Yep, that's extra fat on your arm and you still fine. Yes, your thighs jiggle a little extra than normally, but you still fine. You are amazing. You're wonderful. We're getting fine. We're getting healthy. We're doing this thing. And I would do that often, even today. I would dance in the mirror and encourage myself because I realized that it was no one else's responsibility. It wasn't social medias, it wasn't magazines, it wasn't likes or comments' responsibility to validate my value.
Wow.
And when I took back them being responsible for validating my value, and I started validating myself, and I started valuing myself, then everybody else was extra. When we make everybody else the ultimate thing, like I'm living for you, I'm living for your opinion, or I'm living vicariously through them, you don't get to live for you.
Yes.
You have to live for you. I tell people all the time, you can look at other people's story and want the piece you see, but you can't go into a bookstore and grab just the pieces of the book that you like. You got to take the whole book. So you can't see her picture and say, I want her body, but not have her burden. You can't see their story and not have their struggle. And so, since you don't want their struggle, you really just want their spotlight, you might as well
Mm.
just be you and live your struggle and live yourself and encourage yourself so that when you do come out, you don't come out as a fraud because, again, it's not sustainable. It's about to be my birthday. That's my word that the Lord is giving me for 34. Sustainability. I will no longer be keeping anything in my life that is not sustainable. And being someone else, trying to live like someone else, trying to become someone else is an insult to what God has created me to be. Me looking at someone else's life and saying, I want that, is an insult to what God has given me. So instead of looking at others and saying, I want that, give me that, give me that, I'm learning how to sustain what has been given, being grateful for what has been given, because for a lot of things that you are seeing, you were supporting it and now it's been sabotaged.
Wow. Wow. Sustainability. Girlfriend,
Sustainability.
we're talking about getting fit, literally getting fit. But tonight, you have helped us to not just, I mean, look at getting fit on a whole new level. Physically, mentally, spiritually, you literally touched on every single area because it takes all three pieces to live your best life.
Yes. Yes.
It takes every bit of that, and it takes work. And that's something that I don't want to leave this broadcast tonight not emphasizing. It takes work physically, mentally, and spiritually, our whole
Facts.
body, our whole temple, our whole mindset, everything about us. So we appreciate everything that you've come in this room and shared with us tonight. Um, everything. When I say everything, we definitely going to have you back because now you're going to have to break down some more stuff because we got to go a little further than fit because you've left us on the edge of just wanting more because you even touched a little bit on how, I mean, even strengthening ourselves in God.
Yeah.
Know that God created us just the way that we are. We're perfectly created.
Yep.
Now, how we maneuver after being perfectly created, I mean, that's something
That
that's
be the part.
literally, it's in us.
Yes.
Our core is there. We just have to strengthen ourselves from the inside out.
Yep.
And if we start from the inside, the outside becomes easier. But girlfriend, when you can tell us that Whataburger and I mean, just yeah, say that word one more time. It was gluttony.
Yeah,
It,
it was gluttony for
it was
sure.
yeah. It's so we're not just saying what it really is, what our issues really are. And when we can be transparent enough, like you were tonight, to just say no, it was gluttony.
Yep.
and I needed to be delivered from that place. But
Yep.
being delivered from that place has taken you to another place. And the places that you're going now, girl, we're all cheering you on.
Thank you.
We're cheering you on. But you have about 5 minutes left. Please, please tell us how to continue following you. If people are looking for coaches, inspiration when it comes to this fit life, tell us more about how we can connect with you.
Well, you can connect with me at C. Jakes-Coleman everywhere. I am C. Jakes-Coleman everywhere except for Clubhouse because I decided to nominate myself on Clubhouse. So I'm the OG C. Jakes-Coleman on Clubhouse. But I'm C. Jakes-Coleman everywhere. You can follow me there. You can DM me. I answer my DMs. I respond to my DMs. So if you'd like to get connected to a coach and join the program that I am on, I would love to connect you with a coach. So please just DM and I can send you out a digital health assessment and get you going on your health journey. I'm coaching as well. So sometimes when you book with me, I pop up. Sometimes when you book with me, one of our coaches pops up. But I've been so blessed to be able to coach others and encourage others and celebrate others. And so that's what y'all are seeing on Instagram. My coach celebrations and my me celebrations, because I believe that as long as we celebrate health, other people will want to join in.
Right. And I believe that getting healthy, getting fit is how we start to create a better sense of self love, of loving
Yeah.
ourselves, loving what we see in the mirror, loving the person that we wake up and look at every day. That's what it's all about for me. It's waking up loving what I see in the mirror every day. I
Yep.
appreciate show them it's 8 o'clock at night in Texas, right?
Yes.
Show us your water bottle. Just hold your water bottle up and show us what you're working on at 8 o'clock tonight. Don't make us feel bad.
Sorry.
Right. So it's 8 o'clock at night in Dallas. It's time, almost time to go to bed. Who wants to be waking up all night using bathroom? But
I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl. So I try to stop drinking 2 hours before I'm going to go to sleep. So it's going to be a long time before I go to sleep.
tell us how many ounces you drink a day.
I try to get anywhere between 95 to 130 ounces of water a day.
Girl, I just passed out, literally. I just passed out, literally. I really did. Cora, thank you.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you for sharing with us tonight. You'll be hearing from me again. Y'all, she said, don't call her nothing but Cora. She was named
Call me
Cora.
Cora.
Don't
Yes.
call her Pastor Cora. Don't call her this. Don't call her that. Call her Cora. That's what she was named. Thank you for your transparency. I got to tell everybody on this live tonight how what a beautiful spirit. What a beautiful, I mean, you came in with a smile, you're leaving with a smile. You were so genuine with
Thank
me
you.
before. You've been genuine with us on this live. Your transparency just changed lives tonight. We appreciate you. We love you. Um, just look to hear from me again because the queendom needs this kind of transparency.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my pleasure. It was
Thank
my
you.
absolute pleasure. Thank you, Kimberly. It was my absolute pleasure and honor to be here. I'm so glad that people were inspired, and I look forward to coming back.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we love you here in this space.
I love y'all back.
And have a wonderful night, darling.
You too.
All right. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
So, ladies, I hope you have enjoyed tonight. Somebody let me know that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Let me know that you got some information that you needed on tonight. Looks like my audio is all jacked up. I hope that tonight is everything that you needed tonight. This particular night was about my Fit to Reign challenge in the Queendom that's starting on February 16th. August the 1st. If you did not participate in the last Fit to Reign challenge in the Queendom, trust me, you're going to want to participate in the next one. The ladies that were in the first one, they all got to enjoy a weekend in Myrtle Beach. Woo-hoo, a weekend in Myrtle Beach. All they had to do was pack their bags and show up. The Queendom took care of transportation. The Queendom took care of their housing. The Queendom did everything that it needed to do. All those ladies needed to do was come to Myrtle Beach and be celebrated. So the next Fit to Reign challenge is starting on August the 1st. And ladies, if you look behind me, what's behind me is, it says self-love formation, your journey to self-love. I have to announce tonight, and what better audience to announce it for than this audience right here. My journal is coming out. Self-love formation journal coming out. This journal will be out in the next 30 days and be available for pre-orders. This journal right here, it's going to touch on so many different things. It's going to touch on week 1, self-awareness, week 2, self-compassion, week 3, self-acceptance, week 4, self-love, the total package in self-love formation. You heard it here first tonight. This is the first time that anybody knows about this journal process besides my spiritual leaders, the Apostle Yolanda Scott and Bishop Demetrius Scott. Miss LaShayla Patterson of Unicorn Strength is the person who has taken this project with me and made it come to life as far as publishing. So you will be hearing more about Unicorn Strength in the next 30 days. But trust me, ladies, we all suffer from that one thing called self-love. And this journal, after you complete this 28-day process, trust me, you will come out a total package. So if you do nothing else, join the Queendom. There are great things happening in the Queendom. There are great people coming into the Queendom to continue to empower you, to continue to strengthen you, to continue to help you catapult into your best days. Trust me, your best days are still ahead of you. Your best days, your present is here. Your future is ahead of you. Your past doesn't matter anymore. And what better way to get started than to do this 28 journal on self-love formation, loving you, loving yourself, reclaiming the victory that's already in you. So ladies, I thank you for being on tonight. I thank you for everybody that joined in, for those that invited more people. Join the Queendom if you're not already in the Queendom. This is Tracy Manley, your visionary queen. I love you. I love you. I love you. I pray blessings over your life, peace over your life, strength, joy over your life, and just know that your best days are ahead. Have a wonderful night from the Queendom of TCQ. Good night, ladies.